It's funny, my other wives remember Janelle controlling the money. I sort of guided where the money went. We all had access to the account. Listen, we were a family working together. We did this best we could. I told Janelle that I wasn't attracted to Christine when I was moving my stuff out of Christine's house into Janelle's house. It was a private conversation. I was in pain. I never intended for Janelle to go telling Christine.
Christine may have been the wife that saved the bacon, but watching her eat a plate of nachos nearly doused Kody's growing affection for her.
Kody wrote, Christine was the cutest girl in the world, although she was a little chubby. I mean, were you grossed out by, you said she was chubby and she was eating the nacho cheese?
I will be honest, I was not attracted to Christine in any kind of physical sense.
Hi friends, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It's Monday, November 25th, 2024. There was a lot of discussion about money again on Sister Wives, but honestly, something in the trailer for what's coming up piqued my interest, and the fight over money only gets worse. But a choice that Janelle made that left Kody in the dark was done intentionally, and it almost felt like it was done so that he wouldn't stop her from going. I'm just going to let you sit on that for a second. If you are in a relationship with someone and you don't like them and you are kind of distrusting of them, perhaps they have a volatile history, you might leave without telling them so they can't follow you. Okay? Just putting this out there. So in the episode that aired last night, Janelle reveals that Kody is trying to frame her for all of the financial mismanagement that has happened in the family. So their lack of money that he claims that they have, even though we know that they have money because they just bought a $2 million house. Well, they don't have money. They have a huge loan. But he's trying to frame her as the person that mismanaged the money because he allowed her the access to control the finances. She didn't really control the finances. She balanced the books. There is a difference between a CPA and a chief financial officer. Okay. So I would classify Kody as sort of a CEO and a CFO. He's the one that ran the business of the Sister Wives, right? He's the one that also, as the patriarch in the system, believed all the money belonged to him. Okay. And he, because of the way that they are structured and because money is supposedly belonging to the men because everything belongs to the men, the women are not ever allowed to own really anything. They might be given jobs to manage the money, or they might be given jobs to balance the books, but she would never have been able to ever manage the money. But they talked about how the money was dispersed, and I just wanted to share this with you before we get into the other part.
So he's trying to pin everything on me. It makes me so mad because he didn't know it. He was doing it behind my back. He kept telling everybody these stories. And I'm like, hell, excuse me, but it's like, I didn't do anything except for have to drink a glass of freaking bottle of wine when I sat and recorded the transactions and sent them to the accountant.
Janelle says one thing and Kody and Robyn say another thing. I don't think either one of them are being 100% truthful.
And this, my friends, is one of the primary reasons that Kody and Robyn were trying to manipulate Meri not to leave, because he and Robyn spent a very long time working and manipulating Meri to not trust people, to not want to have relationships with people. Kody worked very hard to ensure that Janelle and Meri would never have a good relationship. He brought her in really under her nose. He decided to marry Meri's sister-in-law. I mean, that's what Janelle was. And then he put her in a position where she helped with the books, but then led Meri to believe that it was actually her that was controlling the money. I get the sense that Meri, while she was maybe not today, but before, say, she got her own Lizzie's Heritage Inn or had to run her own business. I get the sense that Meri was not very good with money. I don't think she paid attention. She has said that she and Kody were very irresponsible, didn't have jobs, and Janelle had always been the one that really kept them organized. And I think in order to stay organized and she didn't Meri was allowed to be willfully ignorant, and that kept her vulnerable to being manipulated by Kody to believe that because Janelle's running the books, that she's the one that's causing all of these financial issues, when she's not. But this is the first time Meri says Kody and Robyn. And when she said Kody and Robyn, I was like, holy crap. Why would Robyn have a say at all when it comes to the money in polygamy? She's not the patriarch. Kody was probably using Robyn to keep Meri in the fold, manipulating Meri to stay in the fold so that she could never have conversations with Janelle, Christine, or whoever about the money. And because they lived such different lives and drastically different lives, and because Meri was so out of it for such a long time, I think that allowed them to do carte blanche, what they wanted with the money, and make Meri believe that it was Janelle spending it. And it was Janelle's fault that they were having trouble. And Kody and Robyn are willfully lying to Meri. And that's absolutely holy. I would always say it was Kody, but when she said Kody and Robyn, I'm like, oh, Robyn?
We each knew what we were going to get out of the family money, and then if there was anything extra, we would just have to talk to Kody, but then he could spend whatever the hell he wanted. There was a lot of that. All of our money got put into a big, huge fund, and we got paid out of that fund. And I always talked to Kody about getting paid. He's the one who always wrote the check. If I needed anything, I told Kody. It was Kody who really had the control of the money. He really did.
Okay, so this was filmed, I think it must have been in the late spring of 2023. And it was probably 2022, late 2022. I got this message from someone that was friends with Meri, and they were telling me that they had spoken to her, or one of their friends had spoken to her, and something had happened, and they had this family pot of money. And they all were supposed to get paid out of it, and they were all supposed to be able to use it for whatever they wanted. And they found out that it wasn't just Kody that was spending the money, but it was also Robyn that was spending the money. So Robyn was using the family fund as her own bank account to buy whatever she wanted. So was Kody. And the two of them who were legally married were trying to conceal this from the women, and it actually caused a huge fight with the wives and Kody, those that remained. And I don't know when this fight happened. Maybe it was 2021. I don't know. It corresponded with all of them leaving, right? It was sort of this point in time where something had happened. It became clear to them that it was not just Kody, but it was also Robyn that was pilfering from this fund. And the fund, according to the source that I had spoken to, was not only was supposed to pay for everyone. So it was where all the sister wives' money for the show went. And it was supposed to pay for, kids' colleges, and it was supposed to pay for cars, and it was supposed to pay for housing expenses if one of the wives had something that an emergency, if they needed, say an appliance breaks, or one of their kids' cars breaks down, or their car breaks down, or, there's some big financial need. Each one of the women was supposed to be able to use that account and go to Kody to get money when needed, theoretically. Okay. But what they told me the problem is that when they actually needed money, there was never money there. Okay. So they were basically saying that the money was going into the account, but it was being spent just as fast as it was coming in. And while that was happening, some of the women were not getting things that they needed. Like we now know, Janelle never got the house, there was delays with paying off Coyote Pass. And they confronted Kody, according to the person I talked to. And I don't know, this was never on the show. But this now, when Christine said something like, I had to ask Kody, it all went into this family pot. I never got to go in there. He wrote me checks. I had to ask for permission or to get the money. it like hit a light bulb in me that this is what that whole fight was about. So the reason why Robyn is involved is because she's part of the reason why the family wasn't doing well financially. And she was the one that was along with Kody spending. So the problem with Kody and with Robyn is both of them are spendaholics. They shopaholics. They both have a finer taste in life. Robyn is very materialistic and so is Kody, but Robyn has a shopping addiction. Some people drink, some people smoke, some people use substances, and she got her fix by shopping, and it's compulsive. She can't control it. And that's what ruined her first marriage. She compulsively shopped to the point that she racked up $30,000 plus in debt in credit cards that her ex-husband knew nothing about. And then she hid the stuff in a shed so that people couldn't find what she had, okay? And then she would pull stuff out every so often so that Preston wouldn't cue into the fact that she was spending money hand over fist. And now that makes sense about why they wouldn't want people to come into the house a lot for filming, because if Robyn is shopping a lot, that means there's going to be a lot of boxes. A lot of times, people that have shopping addictions are like hoarders because it's not really about having the thing. It's just about buying, like the thrill of the buy. And so a lot of the stuff that they buy stays in bags, stays in boxes, never gets taken out. The larger stuff, the more expensive stuff that Kody bought, sure. But I wouldn't classify Kody as a shopaholic or like an addiction the way that I would classify Robyn. Robyn is going to be spending the money on things that are inconsequential and irrelevant and maybe unnecessary. Whereas Kody is going to want to spend the money on the flashy art and the flashy cars and the jewelry and all of that. And this gets me to another point is someone was telling me that they used to work at a home shopping network. I don't remember which one, but that Kody used to call in and he would buy watches from this network. And they said that Kody would often have to use multiple credit cards in order to purchase it because his cards were maxed out. And it was the same thing that an art dealer or a woman that worked with the artist, they have a bunch of this one artist that's based in Vegas, someone that worked closely with that gallery said that Kody never had the money to pay for the art himself. And so he would just disperse the money on different credit cards. And so he was accumulating all of this credit card debt, but then he was hiding it from all of the other wives. And then while he was doing that, Robyn and he are also pilfering the money, which then was leaving the rest of the women without the finances for whatever it was that they needed. And now that they know that they've done this, they're trying to cover their asses for what they've done, and they're blaming Janelle. And that's so sinister because now they're trying to rope Meri into believing that Janelle is the one that did this. That's so sick. So what they're doing is they're trying to cover their tracks by framing Janelle for being the excessive spender or blaming Janelle for not managing the money properly and her being the reason why the money all disappeared. The problem is that I don't think they anticipated that Janelle would look into these accounts and see the money, right? And where it was going. And then it was made more clear, I think, when they were able to get a peek inside of the house to see what was on the walls, what was in the bedroom. Their property listing, when they sold their house, it was obvious that they were spending. And the amount of stuff they have compared to anyone else, including Meri, it's over and above. I mean, they're living the lavish life, whereas everyone else is like scrambling to pay their bills and having to hustle by having these side gigs like doing the MLMs. Because you have to remember, they weren't making a lot on Sister Wives for a very long time because the show almost got canceled. And so they slashed how much the women were making. But Robyn and Kody's spending never changed. So that gets me to this point of in the next part of the season, Meri finally wakes up, right? And she sees what they're doing and she gets really angry, realizing that she's been screwed over by Kody and Robyn. And Kody is left completely in the dark about Janelle leaving him and moving. And he makes this very ominous statement. So check this out.
All right, guys, people. Roll out. I love Flagstaff. It's time to do something different.
I don't know how to explain this. It was never intended for me to know that Janelle was moving. I think they're worried about whether I'm going to be fair or not. Divorce just takes away all trust. A special place that was meant to be more special, I don't want to sell it.
Just give us what's ours and we'll move on. What else is he going to do? Like, he can't really hurt me.
He said very codedly, I don't know how to say this, but I was never intended to know that she was leaving or that she was moving. And that made me think about an email I had gotten from someone that was claiming that they were part of some kind of, not production on the show, but a part of the network. And they were saying that Kody was saying things to the producers that were making them uncomfortable and that he was using the show to basically stalk the women and track what they were doing because they weren't communicating with him. And he would ask questions on set that made people uncomfortable. And they were saying that Kody's behavior on set, along with just the fact that he doesn't cooperate with the promotion of the show or anything like that, like he's relying on Christine to do everything, they were losing their patience with him. And when they said that, I was like, at the time, I was like, well, this might be true, but I don't know. But then when he said, I was never intended to know this, it felt like she was trying to, in a way, kind of flee without under the radar because she didn't want Kody to know. And Meri has made comments too that Kody's not going to know what they're doing and it's going to bother him because he likes to know what people are doing. He wants to keep track. And the person that I spoke to basically was alleging that Kody was using this show to stalk his family and to keep tabs on them. And they didn't like that. And then it made me realize that when all of this was happening, the producer that brought the show to the network left. So Tim Gibbons made the show and he had this whole idea, right? That he was going to make polygamy look better than it was portrayed by the mainstream media. He believed that the story was wrong, that it wasn't corrupt, that there weren't crimes, that there wasn't abuse, that it was all consensual. And he had this, idea that he knew better. And then right as the proverbial shit is hitting the fan, he leaves. This is the show he created, okay? When Tim leaves, the editing this season is definitely not in Kody's favor. It is changed a lot. And McKelty said that Tim left and they are working with a brand new producer now. And he's different than Tim. She likes him, but he's different. He asks different questions. He probes about different topics. He's learning what they like and don't like, but at the same time, he's different. And if you've noticed, the show is not favorable whatsoever to Kody. They used to do a lot more covering up for him, and now they're not even trying to cover it. So I feel like I feel like she intentionally left and didn't tell Kody because she didn't want him to stop her. Kody was holding on to that she wasn't going to leave. And I think she didn't want the blow up that Christine had, that he basically made those wild threats, the knife in the kidney and he's screaming and he's yelling. She wants to avoid that. So she's doing this with Christine and her husband. Basically, like Christine is helping her leave Kody. And they keep the secret from Kody so she can't be stopped because he would try to stop her. This is wild. So they're trying to frame her for this stuff. And then she's leaving and he is using the show to stalk them. And now Meri's waking up now that she's further away from him. It's actually good to see her. She looks like she's lost some weight. Not that I care, but when you're not happy sometimes and you're stuck in an abusive relationship, you don't take care of yourself as well. And it looks like she's taking care of her health and she's looking better. She looks lighter. She looks happier. So that's the best we can hope for, right? So what are your thoughts about this? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed and click the bell so you never miss a video. Bye, everyone.